Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you're new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Let's talk about Datorama, but just prior to that, let's cover some of the portions whereby we want to discuss how marketing and how audience and marketing segmentation happens and why do people, do the various types of campaigns. Someone mentioned in his introduction about campaigns. What are campaigns? Why do we create campaigns? And why are all these factors coming into play, which tries to measure what's happening? If I talk of at least, I'm working for 10 years. If I talk of the initial period of my career as well, measurement was not something that was very much prevalent. And it was always about creating campaigns or there's something called an IO that gets signed in this digital world. It's called an insertion order when an account manager or a client takes in all the requirements and then they approve based on the plan that an agency or a marketer gives them. And they approve an I and they approve an IO. That the insertion order. And when an insertion order is passed, what happens is the marketing teams come into play, the tagging teams come into play, the people who manage the who manage staffs come into play, and they want to discuss like what is the plan, and how do we aspire to execute what we have committed. And then as you all are from the marketing intelligence team, I believe, or the analytics team, you are aware like how these platforms come into play whereby digital and offline get segmented. And when we talk of digital, there are social display, programmatic aspects of business which are being worked across by people, by marketers, by all the people who are involved in the process. And then there are offline businesses as well, which comes under TV, GMTV, and all those parts, TV, radio, where we are working with the RPs and GRP as the measuring tools. For display or for digital, it was impressions, it was clicks, it was CPC, CTR, which people were interested back in the day. But then what started happening was what? There was no mechanism of measuring that, measuring the business or measuring what is happening and how do I see the change. I believe you will hear this term now and nowadays about segmentation and attribution. When we talk about attribution, what is attribution? Attribution is nothing but attributing or crediting a certain element which was involved in my conversion. When I talk of conversion, don't take me wrong about conversion as a metric from any of the source that you have taken into a report or you have worked on. But conversion can be relative. Conversion is different for everyone. For you, it may be a sign of that is a conversion. For me, a click might be a conversion for anyone else. He might be interested in how many people got converted or how many people made and purchase may be a conversion. When we talk of conversion, we talk of attribution. Attribution is something that is giving credit to the factor that got me the conversion. Correct. Earlier in the day, we used to give credit to the last touch, and the last touches which is basically you go to your click to the buy option and you buy it. They tell that this person came to my page, he bought the product, and that's the element which brought in the conversion. But we used to not take care of the other factors, like you get your views from paid channels, all these advertising a person comes into play. When a customer comes into your page and you see the like, it's basically the part of the sales funnel. It's part of the marketing funnel, sales funnel, whereby a person comes in, he kind of like awareness, consideration, and conversion. Till conversion, whatever happens, measurement is something that is being considered as a very vital part in today's generation, today's scenario. You see the job landscape, you see the working landscape, you see the way people are attributing the factors and doing segmentation analysis. Salesforce Datorama evolved as a mediator to help know a customer from unknown to upselling. When I talk of unknown, I don't know you or you don't know me. But tomorrow, if I have a mediator which helps me convert my unknowns to a potential customer, and by what? By all the marketing factors that you put into play, you get an unknown person too. From unknown, you know the person, and then he or she becomes your potential customer. And then you go for a first time purchaser to an existing customer, and then you go ahead with referrals, cross selling, upselling, and all those brand lifting and all the other factors involved in the business, which basically helps converting more customers, getting more customers in, and on and forth. You know the journey. And the Salesforce Marketing Cloud was involved in this entire process. In this fragmented world where we are today, we want to always know, like, it is performance plus impact plus loyalty growth which basically takes us forward. It is no longer a market for impressions and clicks. It's no longer a market whereby impression or clicks or spend becomes the last thing that you will take into consideration and will infer any of end of conclusion that my campaign or my channels or my account is doing perfect. Right. Previously it used to be in that manner. Why do people create, many campaigns? Why do people create the various segmentation? When we talk of a brand, say, let's take a brand called Anything X, and then they split themselves into regions, then they split themselves into campaigns, and then they invest the budget allocated for each campaign. You know many of the things that you have to do. You have to do all the channels that you see in there. And in this fragmented marketing world, you keep on spending in various channels. And because various channels are evolving, you take 10 years back. You see the marketing tools available to you versus today. You have, like, every day I see a new tool coming up telling that this is going to measure more. This is going to give you insights more. This is meant for your optimization and simultaneously the sources as well. Every source is trying to come up with their advertising model. Everyone is trying to come up with a CPC model whereby you have a cost per click, or then sources like Twitter or platforms like Twitter have started promote tweets. All these are marketing activities whereby an advertiser invests, right? When advertiser invests in this entire plethora of marketing tools available to them, they basically want to somewhere like you have come up with a social. We want to spend in social. Social only involves Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, on and forth like, and metrics have changed as well. Its retweets, swipe ups, all these have come as an individual metric that is being considered in marketing, and these factors are contributing towards the success of it. These factors are contributing towards if the marketing solution or if the campaign is successful or not. Now, in this process, when you come across, say, an advertiser which is spending across 5 social channels, they're spending across Google AdWords. We're going to use, say, Bing ads with Yahoo, and then going ahead with say, LinkedIn ads as part of social. Sorry, I forgot that as well. They have programmatic has evolved now. Programmatic is something which we will discuss someday, but that's another interesting part of the business that is hugely. I'm sure you guys have worked with data from trade desk and stuff, but then when you have, like, 5 channels of search, 3 channels for channels of social, you have display, you have problematic, you have offline, and then you have your planned data coming from tools like Prisma. You are working with delivered metrics from Moat, or and on and forth. You want somewhere that enough of it. I want to keep all my silos under one bucket, under one umbrella, that tomorrow, if I want to refer anything, I have a repository increase now. Well, repository is not there. Before Datorama, they were there. We know, in a world whereby we are working, we have the, oldest repository that we call a SQL. We have come up with Redshift. We are working with Amazon Cloud S3 buckets as part of storages. But then storages needed a mediator to cascade what you put into the storages. And then they want an end result like, end tool or a visualization tool or harmonization tool, which will go ahead, excavate all these data from the tables that are present in there and be a mediator. We have which basically will read all the data, which basically will you know we will see if the data unified or not. And then there were unification problems as well. We will come to all these things which are getting solved with Datorama. They were unification problems because not every metric of Google Ads or searches is having the same naming convention as it is with Bing ads, or if it is with Yahoo, maybe. If you see, maybe Google Ads keeps campaign as campaigns. Yahoo Ads may keep it as a campaign underscore name and then may go ahead and say campaign name. All these 3 things then needed another level of harmonization, which will make the repository know that what all these 3 are same things. And we are intending towards seeing the search data unification problems always there. Secondly, what it does is we need a mediator tool which has to go ahead and look into the data if it is done or not. If it is true, if it is doing a good level of quality check, and then move ahead to another tool which will look into the visualization. I know, SQL visualizations up there, but then you want that, or do you want another tool which is coming? But then, as the trend goes, and we have a repository, we have a mediator harmonization tool, we have a end tool which is used for visualization, And Power BI Tableau have come and evolved and is running successfully as well. That was the scenario, and there was no unification. And if you see the slide as well, and if you see there are 4 regions, there are 8 campaigns, and can see the amount of channels being advertising. You know you have an umbrella. You have an umbrella which will keep all the things at the place that nothing goes wrong, and if it goes wrong you have a close call and you have a close monitoring on stuffs. This is a slide which talks of the amount of solutions that have come in since this is a slide for 2019. I'm sure 100 more have come in or thousands have come in these 3 years. But then let's see, how the solutions have evolved. You have advertising and promotion, you have content experience, you have social, you have commerce and sales, you have data, you have management, and everything in between. People are talking of data science day in and day out. And now people are talking of data engineering, data science, and everyone is trying to get a model at least. But everyone is trying to get a model, a segmentation model, an attribution model at place. Because today we have the amount of data that we need to create the models. That is something that we need to acknowledge as well, but that brings in the baggages along with it as well. If you see, I'm modeling. A modeler wants simple stuff, but today, when you see finding that simplicity or finding your actual hypothesis, finding that factor that I want to analyze takes a very long time because of availability of data. You have many sources coming in. You have much of data with you. You are doing and that helps, and also somewhere Tom stumbles upon, and we want to understand why and what should I measure and how should I measure income data drama. Let's talk about data drama, income state drama, which has taken all these things under unification under the name of the business intelligence marketing tool. But then it is doing way more than that with its modeling. At least modeling has helped, data drama to unify everything under the same umbrella, and also helping an advertiser or an analyst with the segmentation, with the classifications, with the small harmonization techniques which they want to conduct in various campaigns or in various accounts or in various data sources to and having them under the same model helps data drama go ahead and implement everything successfully. If you see distributed campaigning, you see awareness, consideration, purchase retention, advocacy being part of the channel, which basically brings your entire customer from a journey which is basically unknown, where you don't know the customer and you have a poor PCs, online ads, paid socials, and then consideration going like the website e-commerce, purchase retention, and advocacy. This is a beautiful slide which basically tells us how has things changed and how do we see the various aspects of marketing. The various aspects of marketing from a standpoint which has changed the entire landscape, which we want to measure, which we want to see, which we want to check in terms of harmonizing, in terms of harmonization, and not only harmonization but also visualizing it in a different manner, and also helps us understand if I was supposed to manage all these sources without a business intelligence tool, how much of effort will I be putting in harmonization, cleansing of data, on and forth. Key challenges in this entire scenario. What should I? What are my challenges that are there? Understand what is working and what is not. This is definitely a problem when you are venturing out with a client, when you have a client, and he or she has mentioned that, you know what, I have three sources of search, I have four sources of social, on and forth, and it gives you a list of 16 stuffs or 20 data sources and channels, and they give you the credentials, and you want to understand if data is working for me or not. Now, say, suppose your campaigns are running from 2017 onwards, and you have, like, a repository which you want to create for each sources. You need to configure and if it is AP, then, God be your friend when you need to configure individual APIs and with their credentials, and you need to check what is there and what is not. And how am I going to see the taxonomy? And I'm not aware of the taxonomy as well. That how it was, how am I going to classify such a big data? I have the taxonomy. It is not relevant. It has changed since 2017 till now, and people have no clue about it. And people are asking me, give me a segmented data, and I'll go back to my team and understand the taxonomy from them, or how the data is, or the how the data is being governed, or the data governance team to give us the correct set of data. But then how are you going to go ahead and look into this to the campaigns and delimit them as they go in? Like, this is my brand, this is my country, this is my country code and all these things. Because all the campaigns do not have the same delimiters. All the campaigns are different from one another. That's a challenge which 60 to 90% marketers or analysts or analytics people face in terms of harmonizing data. They keep on cleansing is very very tough a job, and also prone to quality errors, prone to large sets of errors which can ruin the data as well. What is working and what is not? It has been the question since, and Datorama solves it pretty well. I'll say, like, with the components that Datorama have, it basically addresses this part of the challenge pretty well, and it does, solve these issues of what is working and what is not working. Contribution from each activity. We that's basically the part of consideration that happens. We need to understand, or I was talking about attribution, right? Each activity has its own contribution towards the end conversion to be happening, and that is something which Data Roma understands pretty well. And we see, like, we need to understand how are all these sources contributing towards the end goal, end data set, and conversion and visualization. I want to see a goals chart. I have to set a goal for myself. All these contributions from various channels of marketing needs to be understood by people. And then we go ahead and look into the contribution for each activities, derive actionable insights from activities performed. Yes, definitely. I guess we all are there. We all have the same goal in mind, right, of working in this same domain. We always want to have actionable insights from activities performed, and insights doesn't mean looking into the chart and telling that you know what campaigns from this date to this date have shown an impression of 1,000 and click of 4,000. And sorry, impression of 4,000 and click of 1,000 and all these things. I think it's a pretty good campaign. And then there is another campaign B, which is not performing that well because the impressions have gone down, the clicks are not there, and on. That is not insights, right? That I can see from the chart as well. And I can see from the movement of the data, I can see it from Google Analytics charts that this campaign didn't do well, but then this campaign did well. This is not insights. Practically, this is chart reading. But insights is something which tells you know what. Last 30 days, my campaign saw a very sideways growth whereby it was going. And then one fine day, I see for 3 days, there's a spike in the data. And then again, it's become moderate. What happened on those 3 days? And what can we derive out of that for our future plannings? What has the campaign to offer to me? What are the changes that have taken place that did bring in more customers, more potential customers, or more people into my page, or what ad or what placement? What was that X factor which basically helped me achieve this part of it? That's basically actionable insights. And also, what's not mentioned as a term over here is optimization. Maybe you will hear it day in, day out that you know what you need to have insights, and then you need to suggest optimizations. Optimizations is something that you do not arrive at with a very small amount of data for a small amount of time, short period of time. Optimization is something which you need to monitor. You need to understand what you want to optimize. Do you want to optimize efficiency? Do you want to optimize your growth? Because your campaign may be an awareness campaign, your campaign may be an consideration campaign, your campaign may be a clicks campaign, a conversion campaign. But you need to understand, what do you want to optimize? Do you want to see how do we lessen the CPs? Do you want to understand, the growth? Do you want to understand how things can be made better? Strategies, basically strategies and insights. There comes optimization and data. Drama helps in both these things pretty well. Data drama not only helps you with the campaign, to look closely through your campaign, but it is also a integrated, which basically helps us at some aspects. I will not say that the eye is completely giving you the insights, but it will give you a direction. Definitely that you know what this is, what is happening with your campaign, and you want to look at these aspects which can give you more info, and you can definitely, I've seen that at help. We will talk in detail. If not detail, we will talk about it and we will see how do we create those AI oriented insights points, and then how can we take it forward to understand what has the landscape, or what is the landscape offering me from these last 30 days, and how can I make it better and use insights for better planning. Yes, we have discussed that, right? That when you know what are the correct insights and when you recommend the current insights, it's basically very helpful for a marketer to plan their future campaigns, keeping in mind. A very small example I'll give over here, that is, I've seen a marketer whom I've work with pretty long ago, maybe a 1.5 and 2.5 to 2 years, or two years before, whereby I've seen the tendency of a client. If you understand search marketing better, I'm sure you have come across the word keywords and you know the term. Keywords has segmentation, it's as well. There are broad match keywords, there are phrase match keywords, there are exact match keywords, there are negative keywords, and on. And then there are permutations and combinations. Phrase exact and phrase broad and all those things anyways. An exact keyword is the most precious keyword, and a new online guy coming into the business Always I've seen this tendency of creating campaigns with exact match keywords because he or she wants, like, not everyone, but I've seen that marketer create everything with exact match. He didn't see a raise in his marketing activity because exact match keywords are something which gives you the exact result what you want and no one knows your brand. Go ahead, make a campaign with all your broad match keywords because broad match is the less precise people compared to phrase match like least precise as is broad match keywords which basically helps you build your brand, which basically gives you visibility, which basically helps people know that you are there in this market. And then when you see like your campaigns perform and look into the keywords which basically uh, people are searching you with, and then you convert them into an exact match keyword that things work for you better anyways. All these insights are very much necessary. This is a very small and very layman example, I'll say, but still it makes you understand how a small insight is necessary, which gives your marketer a way forward or a way towards to planning the next campaign as well. Now we have arrived at Datorama, which basically helps us from the portion whereby a potential customer is there with the help of thanks to our marketing activities and from how the potential customer goes ahead, becomes the first time customer existing and how they perform across all the marketing activities and how they go ahead and how do we see the post campaign performance for all our advertisers. Why Datorama? Because it's a marketing intelligence platform. Yes, we all know that. Datorama basically has become a hit because it is from the scratch. It is trying, it is letting you integrate, it is letting you harmonize, and it is letting you visualize the data in a manner that basically was, I'm not aware if I should say was never before. But pardon me if I say that because, at least for me, I have not seen a tool which works like this integrated tool, which works like this, and then it connects across the various platforms, connects to all, yes, because it has. It has most of the APIs that you can think of as a digital marketing data source. But then, if it is not as well, it provides you with, Excel uploading or off-tab configuration or SETP configuration or email delivery or working with third-party tools to get your data into the tool and also connecting your files of Excel using total connects and stuff that we will discuss on the when we go ahead, and it basically helps you connect everything. And then we will talk about an aspect in this training whereby we will see that if it is not a marketing data, is the tool not meant for it? It is meant for it. We will take a non-marketing data as well because it is considered as a marketing intelligence platform. I've heard people from other trainings asking me somebody if you know that if this is the way a person keeps on telling that it's a marketing intelligence platform and I have a non-marketing data, I have a sales data, can I map it? You know, what I do is I tell them that you need to understand how the data modeling is, and we will in this training go through the data modeling parts, data modeling aspects, and that will help us understand better why we are talking about it as an intelligence platform and as I say it's we should call it as an intelligence platform and not only marketing platform but platform for everyday data that has to go through a data modeling. And bingo, you are there with your insights or your visualizations, everything uncover combined marketing insights using Einstein A. Yes, that's the A that I was referring to earlier as well, but Einstein It gives you a directional data. As I say, it is not something like no insight is no one curates any kind of any insights. No one curates any form of insights or anything, but every insight is helpful as a. But then I'll say, like, I work with Einstein, and Einstein A provides you with a direction which you can go ahead and dig yourself and find better insights. It's a directional tool mostly, and it gives you a way to look into your data better, measure your ROI. Return on investment is something that you want to assess. Always correct it is. It is basically how much return did I get per dollar? How much return did I get, like, spending every single penny? And that is possible when you have a data modeling at place, when you have a tool which unifies all your data correctly, which slices and dices your data directly, which slices all the common aspects of the data correctly, which identifies the raw data and aligns it to the in-house data modeling, which understands what is that column that is coming in and maps it correctly. Is this why people are choosing Datorama to be their tool? Because that helps. That makes my life easy, right? To get my return on investments, understand and optimize campaign performance. Definitely, after much of talking, you must have understood that. It basically helps us to understand and optimize the campaign performances better and then visualize your story. Visualization is a very important capability of data visualizes something you see in every training and in your life as well. We always put all the words, put all the big terms, jargons, all the things for ingestion and harmonization. But you know what? Visualization after, like, with data drama has been a revolutionary aspect. I'll say because it's not limited to all those four graphs that comes to your mind when you think about visualization. But Datorama has taken it way ahead. It has, like, all these graphs are also widget in Datorama, and it has all the advanced widgets which helps us monitor every aspect of data. Taking an example of the goals widget whereby you can set goals and actions. If you're like, goals and actions work hand in that, you can set a goals widget whereby if my impression for my campaign or impression for my marketing activity reaches 1 million, trigger me like, and it shows a goals widget which basically works as a meter and it tells how far are you from your goal, or if you have achieved your goal, or if you are away from your goal, and on and forth. Actions basically are nothing but a notification tool which tells me, oh, you have reached your goal within this, or you are away from your goal, and it notifies you with all the third party tools, or it gives you a mail in your account and tells that this is happening. Data Drama also facilitates JavaScript graphs. It helps us with customized visualization as well, which helps us with many things. You know it. It offers a plate full of graphs. If you are someone who is a JavaScript guy, if you're someone who understands JavaScript at least, and if you understand indexing and JavaScript, like, in a basic level as well, Datorama offers you with a JavaScript mode of visualization through custom graphs and custom widgets, whereby you can create all the advanced charts that you want to, like, at least for me. I have worked on the waterfall model. You know that there's a graph called a waterfall graph, which basically is a very important aspect of data modeling and data engineering, because the waterfall graphs helps understand how, say, suppose I create a waterfall graph on my channel and I want to see that from last month to this month, say a metric called, say impressions. I see that last month to this month, how did all the channels contribute towards impressions? When you talk of that, a waterfall model comes into play, which tells that, last month it was 100, the next month that it is for display, it was 100. Now this month it has 200 and on and forth. And all these values from the channel graphs or the channels add up to the next month or the current month's impression and on, Then the next month, the current month becomes the previous month and on. It helps us know how each channel has been effective and ineffective as well, which helps us go back to the homework and see what went wrong in there that previous month. Search or social did contribute a large share in the impressions, in for a large in the impression share, whereas this month it is not happening that way. There must be a reason, find it why. Waterfall has been a very successful chart in all our client integrations and client implementations. Then there are vertical scatter plot charts. Vertical scatter plot. You have seen scatter plots, but then vertical scatter plots have been something which basically shows the scatter plot as a silo, like each month versus the channel, and a vertical scatter plot, which basically tells me two things. One, how the data has performed over the months. Second, it also, if you are a data science guy and if you are looking at standard deviations somehow, it also helps you, maps, scatter plots, to know, what are the deviations, how close is the deviation or how far is the deviation, and if you're doing a data science modeling using Python, you can utilize that data as well. Anyways, for the graph per se, I'll say, it has given us a huge amounts of custom graphs that we can create using JavaScript, and visualize our story. And visualization is a very important aspect of data that has made the tool a very big hit. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.